Good afternoon and welcome to our first ever Espresso Yourself dialogue with a director. We're really thankful that you could join us here today online. I want to take a minute to introduce the members of the panel today. To my left, I have Mr. Cantrell, the elementary principal. To my near left, I have Mr. Travis Julian, who will be taking on the preschool 3 through 12th grade principal position next year. To my right, I have Debs Gunthorpe. She is a loyal and long-term parent here at BAIS who is soon to have a graduate from the school. And we also have Hans and Sonu, also elementary representatives from our parent community today. So parents, we do want to extend just a special thank you for joining us today. I know it can be nerve-wracking to be online, and there's always the worry that we might go viral. So let's all pray that that does not happen. But thank you for joining us. Thank you to everyone online for joining us as well. Really excited to have you here. I'm going to share just for a few minutes about BAIS, the school. It's been great to see BAIS develop over the last 5 years that I've been here. When we first came to BAIS, one of the confusing issues that we had in terms of marketing and PR was, oh, BIS? Oh, do you mean BAIS or BIS, or which one is which? And it's been great to see the school develop and improve and build on its reputation as a true international school in Kota Baru, Parahyangan. It's a beautiful campus, beautiful place to live, very safe place to enjoy. So we're interested to have anyone who's a prospective parent or student to come on campus at any time. As I said before, we are an international school in the truest sense. Our teachers are almost all expat teachers who speak English as their native language. So if you are a parent who's excited about your student learning English quickly from a native English teacher, this would be the school for you. We have 11 passport countries represented in our student body, so there's plenty of diversity. We love celebrating cultures at this school, and we are an open enrollment school. That simply means that you can join us at any time throughout the year, and we will do our best to fit you into the correct grade level, to catch you up on anything that might be a standard or an objective that your student is behind on, and catch you up and bring you in so that you can have a positive, smooth transition into the community here at BAIS. We are a Christian school, but we don't require students to be Christian when they come on campus, nor do we require them to be Christian when they graduate. One of the privileges I've had in observing teachers interacting with students, but particularly with students interacting with students, has been in Bible classes. When they're discussing worldview, when they discuss their faith background and the things that they believe, the students are always respectful, always loving and kind and open-minded in those conversations. And I feel like when we look at the world around us, whether it's in Indonesia, whether it's in the US or Canada, there's often such conflict that people can't even have a conversation with each other. But what I love about BAIS is we can discuss deep, personal, spiritual matters in a respectful and loving way. We are fully accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, along with the Association of Christian Schools International. So you might hear us say WASC and ACSI. We're referring to our accreditation process and the fact that we are a verified accredited school. Really, that simply means that they've vetted the school. They agree that what we say we do, we actually are doing. They come as a quality control agency to really inspect to see what we're doing, and they ensure that we're also meeting our steps towards continued school improvement. And speaking of improvement, we are growing for the future. We have plans for future development here on campus. We would hope to be breaking ground in the next year or 2 years on either a performance fine arts center or perhaps a multi-purpose sports venue for our students. For those of you who play regularly on the sports court, you know that that surface is not perfect for basketball and for the other games and activities there. So we hope to be building soon. We also have a lovely new development called the Heritage Fund. And that's a simple way that you can invest in the school and we can return that investment into your students. So you've seen, if you've been with us for a number of years, campus developments related to the soccer field being built, the new swimming pool being built. And we do seek to continue to grow, continue to improve, not for ourselves, not for our own reputation, but simply for the benefit of our students and for the positive experiences that growth can have on our students. So again, thank you for joining us. Welcome. I'm going to transition now to Mr. Cantrell. He's going to share just briefly about a school update, the things that are happening in elementary school, kind of long-term plans. So please, Mr. Cantrell, take it away.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thomas. Pleasure to be with you all today, virtually and in person. Thank you again for coming. A lot of really fun and exciting things happening at BAIS these days. If you talk to students, the most exciting and fun thing that's happening is the fact that there are about 3 weeks left of school. So they're very excited about that. I think some parents are also in that same boat. I personally have 3 children here at the school, and they are growing and they love the education they receive here. We're thankful for a successful end to our school year. We've been able to enjoy some really fantastic, safely done hybrid learning. And it's been a way where our students can really get that special attention from their teachers, special attention from our staff. And I really believe it sets us apart from a lot of schools in our area. So thankful for that, thankful to the end of the year. We've had our AP testing recently, and in fact, it's still going on. Many students in high school are taking AP tests. That's one of the things that also sets our school apart, is that we offer the AP test and the AP curriculum, which allows students to enter university in the US with university credit ahead of time. So quite special about our school. We are in the process of finalizing a comprehensive full reopening plan for the coming school year. It is important to note that we are anticipating further guidelines from the government, and we're very conscious of the fact that we will need to abide by those as usual. So we will be creating several different plans in order to best provide the highest quality of education for our students and be ready when the government gives certain regulations. We've had this comprehensive reopening plan for quite some time, in fact, and it's been approved by the Health Department, by the Department of Ed, by everyone, Kabupaten Bandung Barat, everyone that we need it to be approved by. But the overarching permission just hasn't been released to fully reopen. So we're happy to have a great document and plan to work with. We are receiving new enrollments every week. It's really exciting to see many new families coming in and out of our admissions office. Our marketing team has been working really hard to let people know that we do have a top quality international school here in Kota Baru, which is growing by the day, and an institution where parents can expect that their children, upon leaving, will be prepared to attend university all over the world and be equipped for that.
If I can just add just one thing to that. At the start of this school year, enrollment was actually at 153 students. That was due to many reasons, the pandemic, international travel being challenging. And we're predicting that at the start of next year, based on applications that have been completed, interviews that we've had with students and family, we're anticipating starting with approximately 180 students on campus next year, which is a very healthy number for us. And I think that's due in large part to the fact that many students have been able to come on campus this semester. The middle schoolers have been coming in Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 10th through 12th grade, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then in elementary, it's been more individual one-on-one or small groups, but almost every day we're having students on campus, giving them face-to-face learning, which is, as we all know, exactly what the students need.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. That's great to note. And thinking about that, you obviously want to move towards the topic of safety. And our staff has been receiving, through our school doctor and through kits that have been approved and purchased, our antigen swab test. We've been tested each week. And each week, we're careful to make sure that everyone is in a place of being COVID-free, so that students, when they come, for whatever reason, for short amounts of time, they know that their teachers are verifiably free of the virus. On top of that, we are really excited about what the next year will bring. Some of those things involve transition at a lot of our international schools where we hold expat staff. Some staff will stay for a several number of years, 5, 6, 10 years. Some will only be able to stay for several years. But this next year of transition allows us to usher in a new administrator into our team, and that's Mr. Travis Julian. And I'd just like for him to be able to introduce himself briefly. Some of you may know him if you've been a part of our community for any number of years. But yeah, Mr. Julian, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I've been here at BAIS for 6 years now. I've been teaching secondary history and social studies. Part of that was being the AP history teacher, so I taught the 2 AP courses that we offer in history. As far as my educational background goes, I have a degree in secondary history education, and then just recently received my master's in curriculum development. And so I'm really excited to be able to step into this role as pre-K through 12th grade principal. I'm really excited to work with Mr. Cantrell, and yeah, I think BAIS has so much potential. There's just so much more that BAIS has to offer to this community, so much growth here, that not just physically the building, but even just with our students and staff, and just really excited for what the next few years will bring. I know this COVID season has been challenging, but I've been so impressed with how our staff has come together, how our parents, our community has come together to really make the best of a difficult situation. I think that the lessons we've learned from this are really going to propel the school forward in the next few years. So I'm excited to be a part of that and be a part of the leadership team putting together those ideas.
Thank you. Yeah, excellent. I think you've heard us talk quite a bit here at the beginning of this video, so I'd like for you to be able to see some imagery of our school and hear some from our students, parents, some testimonials. So we're going to transition to some school videos and testimonials, so please enjoy.
my name is Sarah Neviu. I am a BAIS alum from 2011.
My name is Paul. I attended BAIS from 2002 until I graduated in 2013.
I'm Dinah Park from the class of 2016.
I got my bachelor's in neuroscience in 2015, and I now have my doctorate in physical therapy. So I actually work as a physical therapist and have been for the past couple of years in Vancouver, Washington, United States.
I study biological sciences at the University of California, Davis, or simply UC Davis.
I finished my bachelor's at NYU Abu Dhabi, my master's at Purdue University, and now I'm finishing up my PhD at Purdue University in civil engineering.
One of the ways that BAIS really helped me was the sense of community.
Outside of academics and curriculums and programs, I think BAIS is really unique in the sense that the community structure that it has set up and has persisted for, I think, a couple of decades.
When I first got to BAIS in 2012, I barely spoke English. But thanks to our teachers who worked with me patiently, I was able to pick up the language pretty quickly.
Just having that type of support, I think, really helped me grow into a very mature human and a mature believer as well.
The student body is really small, the student to faculty ratio is really good, and also regardless of age, you're really interacting with all the students when you're there.
My church group leaders and all of my friends that I had and their parents were all really involved in my life.
Learning through your older role models is a really special and unique environment. And so, yeah, I'm very happy that I got to be a part of BAIS.
I have a lot to thank for BAIS, and the impact it's had on me will definitely carry into the rest of my life.
I am here where I'm at thanks to BAIS.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed not only the campus tour from above, but also those alumni testimonials. I love hearing from individual students. Some of those students that you heard from were before my time at BAIS, and some of them are during my time, so I recognize them, I can see them, but I see how they're really an image or a portrait of the graduates, the quality graduates that we're able to send into the world as servant leaders, as those world changers who are really going to improve the world we live in and take care of us when we get older. So it's really exciting. We're going to transition to hear a little bit more from our parents now, and we'll start with Debs, and then Hans can answer, and then Sonu at the end. This is just a chance for you to share kind of a testimonial. You can think of questions such as, what does BAIS mean to you? How has BAIS provided for our family? What are some great things about BAIS? We'd love to hear your testimonies about that. So thank you, Debs.
Hi, I'm Debs. I have two sons at BAIS, and my eldest son started here in first grade, and he's about to graduate next week from BAIS, and my second son is in 8th grade at the moment. I think BAIS for our family has provided a lot of stability. We've had a lot of transitions as a family, and BAIS has been a stable community for our sons to be a part of. I think looking at my oldest son now about to graduate and seeing the young man that he has become, we are so thankful to BAIS because they have contributed so much to who he is. They have the academic standard that the teachers have given has been very high, and he has done very well academically. But much more than that, he's had a chance to be involved in many different activities at BAIS. I think because it's a small school, the students are encouraged to try everything. And he's really enjoyed that, and it's given him a chance to see where his gifts are, and to think more about the future and how what career he might want to have and how he wants to serve God in the future. So we're very thankful to BAIS, and we look forward to being here for a few more years as our second son goes through high school. Yeah.
All right. Hi, my name is Hans, and I have a son who's still here. We've been here for 4 years. My sons entered preschool 3, and then for me, BAIS is like, it's more than school. It's like, it's family, because like we got a warm, we can find like a family. It's like more than school. It's like, I never found this school like this. So it's like, it's not just academically, but it's like soft skill, like develop soft skill, and then for like a relationship with God. And it's amazing. As Deb said, it's just small school, so it's like we know each other and we can encourage each other. And like with a teacher, it's like just a friend. Even for my son, he's like he doesn't want to miss a school every single day, because it's like I want to go to school and stay in school as long as I can. Like, yeah, it's like a family for me.
Hi, my name is Sonu. I've only been in BAIS for 2 years, but I've seen a lot of changes in my son. He started over here at preschool 3. I've seen him grow and learn to be independent. And one thing I really loved about BAIS was the first time I came here, everybody made me here feel so welcomed, so appreciated. Everyone here is so courteous to each other. Everyone is so nice to each other. We all are here like family. Like I can go up to any teacher with any questions. And I love how the school has open communication with all the parents, constant emails, constant updates. So at least as parents, we know what exactly is going on campus with all the recent updates. And especially I'm very impressed with the academic standards over here. Of course, I'm a teacher myself, so I'm very particular about quality of education. So before enrolling in BAIS, I went to a lot of schools in Bandung, but I wasn't happy with any of them. But when I found BAIS, I'm like, yep, this is it. This is going to provide the quality of education that I want for my son. And it's been delivering so far, and I look forward to having Karan here till he graduates at least.
Well, thanks so much for sharing your heart with us and your experience with us. We do consider it a huge privilege to be able to serve your families in this way. But at the same time, we know that it's a huge responsibility, and we feel the weight of that responsibility. And there's not a decision that comes to our desk where we don't think about, deliberate, and really think through the implications of what does this decision mean for our kids, for our students here on campus. We're going to transition now to just some Q&A questions. So this first Q&A question is for Debs and then Hans. As parents, how do you manage stress at home with your children? This can be related to online school. It can be just general parenting tips, but how do you manage stress at home with your children? If you have the right answer, I'll be taking notes because I want to improve in this area too. So.
Well, it has been a stressful year. I think we will all admit to that. So having our children at home for most of this academic year has been stressful for all of us. But I think our family tried to put two things in place. So the first thing was when the school day finished, we made sure that our kids and ourselves got out and did exercise. So got outside, played soccer, ran, walked, swam, whatever we chose, but we valued exercise as a way of reducing stress levels. And the other thing that we did was made sure that every Sunday night before the new week started, that we sat together and talked about how we were doing, what was coming up in the week, and then we prayed for each other. And I think God has really helped us this year to navigate new situations and circumstances in a way that we're still together as a family, and I think that's a success.
Yeah, for me too, it's like, I'm not a big fan of online school. It's very stressful for me, like, because my son is just like 6 years old, and he needs like more interaction with friends. But instead of sitting down just in front of the computer for like an hour, but yeah, sometimes he's maybe like a couple months ago, maybe that's the peak of his stress. Like he cries, sometimes he cries a lot, but I'm very thankful that the teacher here is like, they are really care, so they want to help. They just, sometimes they just text and send a picture, just send a voice note, even it's just like a very short, but it helps. Sometimes it's just really, sometimes, and because we are here in Kota Baru too, so we are close to each other. Sometimes we have, like, we play together. We do like a play date. Sometimes we are, as a parents, we have to think hard how to make them busy. And so sometimes we like arrange the play date with the other parents, or sometimes we just play with the teachers. Yeah, and thank God, all the teachers here, they just want to play, we are like friends. That helps a lot, help us a lot.
Yeah, that's great. Prior to the pandemic, if you would look online for online schools for lower elementary students, there weren't any, because online school is not the ideal situation. It's not the ideal environment for lower elementary kids. And that's one of the things that we've pushed for and really communicated as strongly as we can to our school supervisor, to Department of Ed, and to the health officials, is that we need kids on campus. They're not being served in the ways that they need to be served by being at home, even though our parents are awesome, but they need face-to-face school, and they need that social interaction. Our teachers have been thrilled to have them coming on campus momentarily, and those play dates, the kids light up when they come for those play dates on campus. And to be honest, this campus is a beautiful campus. There's a lot of space, but it's a very sad space when there are no students around. And it's been a blessing to see them running around on the playground, learning and working in their classrooms, making friends. And just the noises is uplifting. Hearing them laugh, scream outside, chase each other, play tag, like all of those things are critical, especially to elementary kids' learning and development. So really appreciate you sharing that, Hans. In a similar question, and I think, Hans, you kind of answered part of this already, are there some ways that BAIS teachers have helped at home? And this is for Sonu as well. Are there things that the teachers have done to help with the stress, to make things a little bit easier, maybe open to communication, things like that?
Well, I think this year I've had Miss Hayes as current teacher, and I think she's really helped a lot by providing really good quality of work at home, the seesaw updates, the worksheet she sends home. So for me, Karan is very young. He's only 4. So he's at a very delicate age. It's very important for him to receive really his basic foundation of education. And Ms. Hayes has helped a lot. She would personally text me, check for updates, check if Karan was coming on campus. She's been very, very supportive. And if I had any questions, if I'm like, Ms. Hayes, do you think this is enough, or do you think we can do more? She would support me and guide me and be like, okay, let's do this for Karan, let's do this for Karan. So she would go out of her way to help for Karan, and I'm very grateful for that. The school has been excellent.
Thank you for that. And I think that's one of the unique things about BAIS is we're not a one-size-fits-all school. Each student is unique, created by God with different skills and talents and abilities. And each family has their own philosophy. So if one particular family prefers more work, some more repetition just to improve that rote memorization, learning that content and skills, the really foundation learning that needs to happen, I think our teachers have done a good job providing opportunities to meet the heavier workload families, but to also allow for opportunities for balanced family time to kind of partner with those two perspectives. So being a smaller school, I think the teachers have done a great job with that. And we'll be sure to let Ms. Hayes know all of the comments that you said. Yeah. So next question, I'm going to have Mr. Cantrell and Mr. Julian start with their answer, and then if you have anything to add to their answers. How do the teachers at BAIS set students up for success?
It's a great question. And I think that's kind of at the core of who we are as a school. It's been mentioned a lot of times in the alumni testimonials and also from our parents here that what's unique about BAIS is that we are a community. It's not necessarily a school solely where students come, receive instruction, and then go home. It's a community of people, like-minded individuals who want the best education for their students. Relationship building between student and teacher and parent and teacher is a huge priority for us. Our students are known by name by most all of our staff throughout the entire school, from pre-kinder all the way up to high school. It's a community where they receive support from not just their classroom teacher, but from all the other teachers from all their specials programs that they're in, where if something is not feeling right with that student that day, the teachers are going to notice and they're going to address it in a Christ-like and loving way. And I think for me personally, having my students here, that's the type of environment that I need for my kids, is a place where they feel loved, where they feel supported, where they're challenged, but they're also given the opportunity to fail and then learn and build back up. And for me, that's very important. So that kind of speaks into the whole child approach. We believe that academics are top priority, but we also see just as important the fact that we are a Christian school, and we do believe that instilling in our students that faith foundation of faith in God sets them up for success in life, because giving them that moral foundation that oftentimes the world just cannot offer, the media cannot offer, we're able to offer that to our students and give them a firm understanding of who they are in Christ and who they are within our world, which is so unique and ever-changing. So that, I think, is one of the main focuses there on the whole child and the faith aspect and community of our school, which, apart from academics, really sets our students up for success. Mr. Julian?
And I think, too, just kind of, you've heard it from some of our parents here, just the mindset of our teachers is student first. They really are here to serve the community and to serve the students and to help them to achieve as much as they possibly can. And so, teachers really go out of their way in doing that. And I think what really helps with that as well is the small class sizes. We're able to give more individual attention to students who might be struggling or need, have questions about a certain skill or topic, and really work with them to help them to improve and eventually master those different aspects. And so I think that small classroom and kind of teacher mindset of student first really creates this atmosphere where students can thrive, where students feel safe. Mr. Cantrell mentioned it, when they fail, it's not a judgment on them. It's, okay, how can I improve now? How can I get better? And the teachers are there to walk alongside them and help them with that.
And I'd like to add to what Deb said before, when she didn't sing it, but she said that famous Shakira line, try everything, right? Our students here, because we are a smaller school, I think their meaning, kind of general, the meaning from life comes when you're fulfilling the purposes that God created you to fulfill. And when you're at BAIS, you can check out new things. You can try new things. So I might try basketball one year and not like it. I'm going to move on to soccer the next year and then realize, you know what, sports, they really stink. I don't like getting sweaty. I'm going to try music the next year and I'm going to try out for the musical and try that for a year. And that goes well. And it's like, oh my goodness, I never thought I would act on stage, be directed by Miss Lamertha, and have fun and find my purpose in drama. So oftentimes, larger schools especially, you kind of get narrow opportunities, and once you find something you're decent at, you just stick with it. But here, you can bounce around, jump around, try new things, praise team, MUN, all of the different clubs that we have. The students can try literally anything that they're interested in. And if we don't have a teacher who's gifted in a particular area, the students can actually lead those clubs also. So we've seen some great work from a current 10th grader with initiating a science club that was specifically focused on labs and teaching our elementary students through that science club. I think she's going to be a scientist, maybe even perhaps a science teacher in the future at BAIS. But our students do get to try everything, which I think is an awesome thing. And I have one particular student who probably never would have tried drama, had a good friend who encouraged him to do so, and now he loves it. And it's such a reflection of what BAIS provides, is they can try everything. If they're not successful, we'll try something else, and we'll figure out what we're gifted in and what God has really called us to be. So it's really, really exciting.
I think the students themselves are really great at encouraging one another as well. So I love seeing the elementary students like hanging out with the high schoolers and enjoying their company, and the high schoolers encouraging them to come and play soccer with them. And that's a big part of BAIS as well for our family. Yeah.
All right, our next question is related to support services, special support services. So the question is, and again for Mr. Cantrell and Mr. Julian, are there any extra support services maybe for students who are new to an English language learning environment, or maybe those who have special needs?
Yeah, we have a great system in place for that. As you know, the language of instruction at BAIS is English. So that goes from pre-kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade. So all throughout the school day, students are receiving instruction in English. However, there are occasions where students do need some additional support in the English language, oftentimes at the elementary level, but also not uncommon at the middle and high school level as well. So we have what's called the English Language Development Program, which is an additional department of our school that offers, instead of additional work in a foreign language for that student, maybe that would be Mandarin Chinese, which is one of the languages we offer, and also Bahasa Indonesia. The student would then be in an additional class for additional language support. So that program is quite successful. We're very thankful for the way we can track student growth. And when they've reached a certain level of proficiency, and I don't say perfect fluency, because you're never going to be perfectly fluent at a certain age for a certain amount of study, but when they reach that level, according to our system of assessment, then they can move on to that third language of study. So that would be Chinese, Mandarin, or also Bahasa Indonesia. Additionally, when it comes to learning support, we have what's called the Response to Intervention program, we refer to as RTI. Our teachers are trained to identify when a student, through general instruction and through general routines, is in need of extra support. This doesn't mean that there's any problem necessarily, but the teacher understands that the student may need some additional measures of support, maybe additional groupings, maybe some accommodations. There are different levels of this program which our teachers follow, and our special ed consultant is able to speak into a lot of those and see just how severe the learning needs are, if additional testing is needed, and then a plan is created for that student so that they can receive that additional support on top of what they receive in the classroom. So English Language Development Program and the Response to Intervention Program as well are great supports that we can offer here at BAIS.
Very good. I love, even before I came to BAIS, which is in 2016, we have just a testimony of a high schooler who came from Korea to BAIS as a 9th grader. She didn't speak any English at that time, so she was in ELD as a 9th grader. Now, she's a special student. She worked very, very hard. But through 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, she became fluent in English. She was accepted to a great university in the US, and she actually finished as valedictorian for her class in just those 4 years. So we're very proud of our ELD program. We can't promise that same result all the time, but it's definitely one of the highlights that I've been able to see in our ELD program. Hans, I was wondering if you could share a little bit with your experience with your son in ELD.
Yeah, the first time, like I thought the ELD program is just like, oh no, I'm just gonna put my son more homework or more like pressure to learn English, because that's, I know it's, yeah, I thought it was hard to learn like both language in the same time, but surprisingly, the ELD program here is just like amazing, because yeah, it's simple. It's not just like sitting down and you're gonna learn a verb, noun, adverb, adjective, and then you write a grammar and then you make like a sentence writing, reading. It's not like that, but it's like more conversation or everyday use for word, and it's, I think it's quite interesting. It's not quite, it's very interesting for my son. This is one of his favorite subject. It's like the teacher is really great in here. They just like put like, we have one subject like cooking, just not just like give a picture, this is a spatula, this is thong, this is funnel, or this is stove, but they're learning by doing, like cooking something, like, hey, you can cook and then you can record it and send it to me. And even like my son sent the food to his teacher, and it's like, all right, it's cool. And yeah, and what in top of that, you know, the teachers it's not only learning the English too, but it's like put some like character building, you know, it's build the characters more like Christ. I think it's not just the ELD, but I think it's most of the teacher here. I think we're not like just learn academic in the class, but the teachers build the character too.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I love the example of learning English through cooking. And if there's any food that anyone wants to send here on campus, it will be eaten without a doubt. So thanks for sharing that, Hans. This next question is a planted question for Debs. Just for those of you who might be curious, the question is, do we have any sort of parent-teacher organization or any way that we partner with parents?
Yeah, we have a great parent community at BAIS. We have an organization called PACE, which stands for Parents Active in Their Children's Education. So PACE organizes a lot of events every year, actually. A welcome back to school event, coffee mornings just for social occasion, so parents can get to know one another, coffee mornings with the school administration, so we get updates. We also usually organize a Christmas bazaar and games evening. And most recently, we've organized an international day at school and celebrated all the different cultures and the diversity of our community here. So yeah, our parents at BAIS are fantastic and always ready to be involved and part of the community.
I think often when we have new families arrive, there's so much focus on the student, making sure the student transition is well, making sure they're paired with someone from student council so that they can go to their locker, go to their classrooms, they know where the bathrooms are, they know the schedules and things like that. But sometimes we forget about the parents. And one of the things I love about PACE is that we have the room mom system where the new parent can get plugged in right away in that WhatsApp group. Any questions they have, they can ask the room mom, ask the group, and they'll get 10 to 15 very clear, good answers, you know, words of wisdom, which can really help the family transition to BAIS as well. So I've really appreciated, Debs, your work leading PACE. If you are interested in being a room mom, please contact Debs. I'm sure we can get you her contact information after the show. So, yeah. Any final thoughts that anyone would like to add before we close? Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for joining us today online. I'm going to close us in prayer and then just have a concluding remark. So please pray with me. God, I thank you so much for this time of sharing, this time of celebration of BAIS and of your faithfulness. And we're reminded that this is your school and these are your students, and we're called here to serve them and to guide them and to lead them. and to build them into strong and courageous young men and women who are world changers. So help us to do that well as we finish up this school year. And I just pray your continued blessings over our entire community. In Jesus' name, amen. Once again, thank you for joining us for this Espresso Yourself coffee time with parents. We will see you again next time very soon.